All right, welcome back, Oklahoma. This morning, we have a very special guest joining us in the studio, Dr. Lori Johnson Vegas, the 2023 Mother of the Year, a prestigious honor which brought her all around the country as she represents Oklahoma with this very special title. Lori, it's so great to have you. I really feel like I'm in the presence of a celebrity this morning.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. It's an honor.
It is, and you've received such a prestigious honor that is well-deserved. I wanted to go through a bit of your resume. You're awarded by the American Mothers Incorporated. You're a mother of two, a college professor, a business owner, human resources consultant, a life coach, and also a master of resiliency training for the Air Force, which connects you right back to Tinker Air Force Base. You told me a minute ago they call you Mother Lori.
Mama Lori.
Mama Lori around Tinker. Where does that drive come from to do all these amazing things?
I think about life and the things that happen in life. And my life changed several years ago. I had the opportunity to go through a certification process. And in that process, during that week, they had us do our purpose statement. What do we feel our purpose in life is? For years, I thought my purpose in life was to be a sports broadcaster.
Okay,
That's what I
too.
went to school for.
Yeah.
And then once I completed that training, my purpose statement ended up being to make a difference, a positive difference in the lives of others. Yeah. Once I put that purpose statement together, it's like my life just came together because everything that I did aligned with it. And if I were offered opportunities to do things that weren't aligned with that purpose statement, I didn't do it. So being able to go out there, meet people, find out what's going on in people's lives, find ways that I can help them and do things for them, that's my jam. That's what I like to do.
You told me a minute ago you're very goal-oriented.
Yes, I am.
Clearly you've set them high and you've achieved a lot of them. This last year has been extremely busy for you. You've been all around the country. I think we have some pictures to show just how busy you've been. You've been meeting a lot of different people, but just last month you were at the United Nations. Woo! And you were representing America as part of the Commission on the Status of Women.
Yes.
What a high honor, what an important thing to
goodness.
do. What was that like?
It's very hard to describe, and I'm a pretty descriptive person, but that was phenomenal. And we talked about that earlier. I'm goal driven. I love goals. I love bucket list. Nowhere in my goals, nowhere in my bucket list did I have that I would have the opportunity to be at the United Nations and to be there to learn about the status of women, the status of our mothers, what's going on, not just in the United States, but all around the world. What are other countries doing to make sure that their moms and their women are taken care of? And so the topics and the seminars that I got to be a part of were phenomenal because I walked away with a lot more education and a lot more knowledge on what's happening in other countries with regard to the status of women. But I will tell you what I walked away with was an incredible network. Being able to meet women and mothers from other countries and have those conversations with them, find out what they're dealing with, how common it is to what we're dealing with. Just that was unbelievable. That's what I walked away with, that I had an opportunity to speak with women and mothers from other countries and make connections.
You're from right here in Oklahoma, representing mothers on a global scale, so it really, really means a lot. The last thing I wanted to ask you about, motherly figures seem to have superpowers. I have a mother, very loving, and I'm appreciative of her. Where does that come from? What does it take to be a great mother?
I think it takes listening to your children. And when I say your children, it's not just the ones that you give birth to. I have been blessed to have lots of people who call me Mama Lori. I am part of the Home Away from Home program at Tinker Air Force Base. So there are several airmen who come to our home and have made our home their home, and they call me Mama Lori. Being a youth pastor, I've had many, many youth who have come through the program. They actually call me Mama Lojo. I just think that it's taking the time to be a good listener and to be a good non-judgmental listener. I'm also a facilitator for Mental Health First Aid, and we speak about that all the time, is take the time to be non-judgmental when you're listening. And I think all mothers have that opportunity, and it's innate, other than the fact that just to let everybody out there know, we do have eyes in the back of our head.
Yeah.
You talk about
No
mother
doubt about
superpowers,
that.
and that's one of our superpowers, but definitely being able to be a good non-judgmental listener.
Listener first. Well, thank you so much for being here this
Oh,
morning. It really means
it's
a
an honor
lot.
and a pleasure. Thank you.
Is there a way that people can learn more about you? simple Google search and plenty of stuff came up, just Mother of the Year, but are there other ways that you'd like to plug or what ways people can learn more?
Yes, American Mothers is an incredible, incredible organization out there doing everything they can to represent our moms and finding out what mothers need. And it's just a great place for moms to go to meet other moms and network. So you can go to AmericanMothers.org and find out some great information about the organization.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
The National Mother of the Year from Oklahoma, Dr. Lori Johnson Vegas, right here in studio with us this morning. It's an absolute pleasure. Wish you the best with, I know, a lot more future endeavors for you, more goals to set. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.